in this session we're going to look at Porter's five forces, or more specifically we're going to look at the power of the supplier within the five forces. So first of all, you'll remember that the five forces are made up from these components, and we're going to just now focus on the supplier power and make some very general and easy comments about this. Nothing very sophisticated today. So when we look at supplier power, we need to first of all realize that suppliers make necessary inputs available. Suppliers are very important to the organization. So virtually no organization is self-sufficient. Most have to buy in something, some capital or some raw materials or some skilled labor, whatever it is. The suppliers can exert bargaining power in a variety of ways. For example, they could threaten to raise the price of their inputs. They don't actually have to threaten it, they could actually do it. But clearly, if the suppliers increase their price, it'll affect the profitability of the business. The cost side of the business has increased. It may be possible to search for new suppliers, but that involves a cost. New contracts have to be drawn up, quality assessment has to be made for the new products, so it's not cheap. So simply threatening to raise prices gives the suppliers some power. Secondly, they could reduce the quality of the goods and services. It's unlikely they're going to do that because they want to maintain their reputation and they want to have future sales. But it's something which has to be monitored, and monitoring costs money. The supplier bargaining power is likely to be high when there are a few large suppliers in the market. A few large suppliers means very little competition between them. They may have carved out their own niche in the market, their own perhaps their own geographical area or their own type of supplies. There may be perhaps very few of them around, so they tend to be dominant, and it's very difficult to oppose them, to drive down the prices. Obviously, if there are no substitutes, then the suppliers have almost absolute power. If there are no substitutes, then the company must buy from the supplier. There are no other ways of doing it. And that means the suppliers can call the price. So no substitutes is a big issue. Switching from one supplier to another may entail significant costs, as I suggested earlier. So companies tend to get locked into suppliers for long periods of time. There may be a search process to find new suppliers, perhaps overseas, or perhaps new setup companies or whatever. But switching from one to the other is a costly business, and in general companies don't do it that easily. Obviously, if a supplier has a patent or some specialist knowledge as to how to make the particular product that's being bought in, then that obviously gives them power as well. That would give them a type of monopoly power. And monopoly power is the capacity for them to increase the price and to get an even greater clinch on the market. So these are some general comments about supplier power within the Porter's five forces. There will be more of these quick sessions looking at the other forces. These should be available on site as well. Okay, thank you for listening.